Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another special installment of Scott's Tennis Selections. I'm going to have to get used to saying that as we will move into the second episode of the series. Just a quick recap of what happened yesterday. We picked up a nice win with the Tsitsipas and Zverev over 2.5 sets, which was available at plus 135 on 5 dimes for a nice win in the inaugural episode of the show. Now, if you have noticed, there are some big matchups coming up in the semifinals of the tournament in Madrid. Yet, what other people don't know is that there are some qualifying matches in Rome that are taking place, which I will also be covering as well. But before we get into the play of the day, we'll actually start out with the leans for the Madrid tournament because that's the main tournament that everyone's talking about, and some books aren't going to offer the qualifying that my match is going to be in. So we're going to start out with the Djokovic and team match, which should be taking place at 9 a.m., give or take. Djokovic versus Thiem, the head-to-head right now is 6-2 Djokovic, except Thiem did win the last meeting they've had on clay in Monte Carlo about a year ago. And in terms of this match, I lean to Thiem here, and I would lean to the over. Thiem struggled against Federer a little bit, but he ended up pulling it out. Federer is still the best player of all time. Djokovic did not play yesterday, so he has a rest advantage because Cilic withdrew from food poisoning. But I would link the Thiem. I think he's a better clay court player than Djokovic is. I still think, with the exception of Nadal, Thiem is the best clay court player on the planet, and I have said that before. And I personally will probably have a little bit of money on Thiem winning the French Open. But as a whole, I would lean to Thiem, and I would lean to the over there. And I know that Djokovic is favored, so a Thiem money line or even plus 1.5 games or so would make a lot of sense, along with the over and the over 2.5 sets. This should go 3 sets. Moving on, you have Tsitsipas versus Nadal. Now, Nadal did not look as good as he usually did in clay in previous matches, but he absolutely demolished Wawrinka yesterday by winning 6-1, 6-2. He's absolutely rolled in his home country of Spain in this tournament in Madrid. And Tsitsipas, we ended up winning in his match with the over 2.5 sets. He ended up winning a tough 3-set battle against Zverev, where he just simply committed less unforced errors in the third set, and Zverev did what he always does, and he occasionally self-destructs in big moments. But in terms of this match, I have to lean to Nadal in the under. Nadal just put together an absolute clinic, and he has done the entire tournament. Tsitsipas is a great player, but I definitely think that Nadal has shown that he's still the best clay court player on the planet, and I expect Nadal to roll here in front of his home fans. So I would lean to Nadal with the spread and the under there. Props Tsitsipas, he's a great player. He will be for a long time, but Nadal is still the clay king, and I think that Nadal will dominate and will be able to make it to the finals relatively easy in this one. Now, you have some matches coming up at like 3 in the morning all the way through to 8:20 in the morning in Rome as they are starting the qualifying for that respective tournament. And the one match, I'm not going to give you leans for all of them because there are a ton of matches and I don't really have the time to do that. But there is one match in particular that we did notice, which has a line that I don't really think makes any sense. And with that, we're going to look at the Copil versus Jarry match, which should be taking place at roughly 4:15. And we are going to be taking the over 2.5 sets, which is available at plus 165 on Bovada. Just so people know, Bovada is my least favorite sports book. It always has been. I think the lines are terrible with most sports. However, Bovada by far has the best tennis lines of any book on the market. 5 dimes is good for ATP, but it doesn't have enough props or totals with regard to qualifying matches. That's where Bovada shines. Bovada has a ton of prop bets, set prop bets, totals, set wagerings, not to mention the regular money lines and stuff in every match, whether it's in qualifying or whether it's in regular ATP events or WTA or even qualifying or challenger events. Bovada is the most thorough tennis book. If you like betting tennis, I'd recommend Bovada. In terms of anything else, I hate Bovada. It's my least favorite sports book. But tennis is something they got right. And that's something that I will continue using this book for, only for tennis. And if you can access Bovada and you're a huge tennis bettor, I would recommend you getting Bovada for your tennis betting needs. But for this match, we like the over 2.5 sets available at plus 165. However, same thing as yesterday. If your book does not offer that set props, just simply take the over 22.5, which is available at minus 115 on Bovada, whatever it is on your respective book. We like the 2.5 sets because we think it'll go 3, but you should get at least one tiebreaker and expect this match to be close. The reason why this line doesn't make any sense to me and the reason why we like it is the fact that these two players actually played each other exactly a week ago on May 4th. And in that match, it went 7-5. It went 5-7, 6-4, 7-6. So you had 3 sets in that one. Not to mention that each individual set was separated by a maximum of 2 games with a 7-5, a 6-4, and a 7-6. So these players, to me, look pretty dead even. I know Copil won as an upset, and Jarry is a huge favorite in this match, and I expect Jarry to end up winning this. But to tell me that 3 sets between 2 players that literally just went to 3 sets a week ago at plus 165 doesn't make any sense. Now, Jarry could smack him, and it is possible. But with the value at plus 165 for this matchup between these 2 players, and even not just that last match, Jarry has gone to 3 sets on clay in 4 of his last 5 matches, and Copil has gone to 3 sets in 3 of his last 4 matches, with the last one coming against Fritz, where he ended up losing in straight sets 7-6, 7-5. So even when he loses in straight sets, he's going to tiebreakers, he's losing 7-5. Both these players can hold serve. Both these players aren't the greatest at breaking. They both have powerful strokes. And I simply think that this match will be very close once again, and I think this will go over. 222.5 is the safer play because you should get a tiebreaker in this match, which would make it a lot easier because you could have a 7-6, 6-4 hypothetically and win. But in terms of this match, there's too much value at plus 165. And for that reason, we will be leaning to the over 2.5 sets at plus 165 at Bovada between Copil and Jarry. Now, as for the other matches in Rome, to be honest, I haven't really looked through most of the card. Once I saw the Copil-Jarry match, I kind of knew which direction I was going to be going in. But in terms of the actual matches themselves, I think that there's value on the over in the Gulbis and Opelka match. I think Opelka will win, but Gulbis has lost 9 straight. He's lost 6 straight on clay. Opelka's really good as a server, but everybody knows that clay is kind of the Achilles heel for big servers, as Opelka's one of the worst returners in all of tennis. Plus, he's also entering this tournament off of a retirement, so you got to question how fit he is for this match. He's definitely in better form than Gulbis, but Gulbis is a better clay court player. I think that'll go over. I think that will be a 3-set match as well. Other than that, not really many thoughts here, but your play of the day, as I said before, is on the Copil-Jarry over 2.5 sets, which is available at plus 165 on Bovada. But having said that, that's going to do it for this installment of Scott's Selections. I will be uploading the video tomorrow for play of the day sometime tomorrow morning. My graduation will be at roughly 11, but I'm waking up at roughly 9, so I have a couple hours to go over the card and to quickly put a video together. I should have probably put a play of the day today because all my leans or all the main ones won today, but I didn't end up doing it. I personally had a nice cash on the Warriors minus 3.5, but that's a separate story. That was a personal play, and Chris Paul's half-court shot at the end of regulation that hit off front rim almost gave me a heart attack. But we'll take the win there at plus 345 in my personal bank account. But that's going to do it for this installment of Scott's Selections here for Scott's Tennis Selections here for Saturday, May 11th. And good luck to all of you and your respective bets. Bye, everybody.